Good morning. I'd like to echo Sheriff Luna's words about the heroic actions of law enforcement that were out there from day one, 24 hours a day, not only saving lives, but saving homes, saving property, and keeping us secure. The deputy sheriffs, the men and women from the Los Angeles Police Department, and all the local agencies and the National Guard deserve our respect, and they deserve our admiration, and they have it. Same thing with the firefighters. The firefighters put their lives on the lines to battle these fires. And again, they deserve an incredible amount of our admiration. By the way, so do the over 200,000 people in this county that voluntarily evacuated. I mean, it's one of the largest evacuations, certainly in LA County, and probably in the entire nation, to have been done in record time, again, to save lives. I'm one of those evacuees, and sure, it was uncomfortable, it was inconvenient, but it paled in comparison to the sacrifice of firefighters and law enforcement that was occurring every single day. So we have been, on the district attorney's office, we have been going after the small number of people who have viewed this crisis as an opportunity to commit crimes. We've gone after the looters. And thank you for the law enforcement, and thank you for the public in bringing these looters to our attention, where they have been arrested, they have been prosecuted, and they will be punished to the maximum extent of the law. And let me make clear what that means. Of the maximum sentences so far that have been triggered, we have seen people look at 3 years, 6 years, 9 years, and depending on their criminal history, 22 years and life in prison. Justice will be swift for these looters, and it will be significant. And the same thing with arsonists. While where the cause and origin of the major fires is still yet to be determined, people, and I don't know who these people are or what they are thinking, they're sick. They decided to go ahead and light some fires in the surrounding cities and just watch stuff burn. Well, the public, working with law enforcement, has caught these people. And they are looking at a minimum of 9 years in state prison. It's not funny, it's not interesting. If they want to do that and endanger our safety, we will throw the book at them. Now, price gougers. Again, another crop of people who have decided that this is their best opportunity to maximize their profit at the expense of people who have lost their homes and are desperate to find somewhere to call home over the next weeks, months, and maybe even years. If you've increased the price of whether it's a home, a service, a good, beyond 10% from the price you were originally offering it before the wildfires, you have engaged in price gouging. You are subject to criminal penalties, civil penalties, and public shaming. We will go after you. And my strong advice for any price gougers out there who are watching this is go ahead and fix what you did. Get back that money. Go back to that 10% amount. We will take that into account in deciding whether or not to prosecute you. And if you have any questions of what price gouging is or whether or not you are entering into this area, you can go to the Attorney General's website. Under price gouging, the city attorney has resources describing price gouging. Use those resources. We do not want to go ahead and fill our prisons with price gougers. In fact, that is not our desire. Our desire is to deter you from committing these crimes in the first place, thus helping all the victims who are desperately seeking these services. We've also seen other scams come up. People have been so generous in wanting to donate money and services, yet there are those criminals who have set up fake sites to try and target these donations and have them diverted away from, let's say, legitimate GoFundMe sites into fake GoFundMe sites. Be incredibly careful. If you want to give money or services, that you check out the organization that is asking you for this. If they in any way pressure you to give money, that is a red flag that it is most likely a fake organization. And please don't give Bitcoin or any type of cryptocurrency. They're counting on that because you'll never see that cryptocurrency back. Legitimate organizations can be checked out, again, against the IRS's website if they're a nonprofit, or the State Attorney General's website. Other scams. And this deals with the recovery. We're going to see unlicensed contractors coming in, thinking that Los Angeles is the gold mine of basically their criminal activity. When you go ahead and want to actually hire a contractor to rebuild anything you've lost, make sure they are a licensed contractor. If they don't have a license, you can check that out at the Contractor State Licensing Board website. Punch in their name, and if it doesn't come up with a license number, they are unlicensed, and that is a felony. And so we will, again, be enforcing these unlicensed contracting scams. Insurance scams. I'm sorry, this is almost a plethora of criminal activity that is going to descend on us, but it will, and you should be informed on it. Insurance scams, where people will come to you. They will say, look, I can help you get more insurance, better insurance, faster insurance. Just pay me some money. These are scams. In almost all situations, check them out. Make sure they are completely legitimate. Work with the Department of Insurance. If you have any questions, they have a hotline number. You can reach them by email or text, and they will answer your questions about any insurance scams. Please don't get ripped off. And for those insurance scammers out there, we will absolutely come after you. Your actions are despicable. They're disgraceful, and we will throw the entire book against you. Last type of scam, government benefits scams. We're about to have billions of dollars of federal money descend on Los Angeles County. There are people who look at that as the opportunity of a lifetime to rip it off. If you want to go ahead and engage in these scams and take government benefits that are designed to go to wildfire victims and not you, we will come after you. We did it back in the 1990s when government benefits came from the fires, the flood, the earthquake, and the riots. We did it back in the 2000 or the 2020 area when millions of dollars came to Los Angeles County from COVID relief. And we will go after you again if you want to in any way rip off the money that is destined for true wildfire victims. Today's theme is recovery, and I want to spend one moment talking about an interesting recovery. Because sometimes all it seems that I'm doing is talking about how I'm going to put people in jail, and I will, but often you want to find out what happens with those people in jail. The other night I went to the Rose Bowl, where there's an incredible sight. You see thousands of people, firefighters, law enforcement, National Guardsmen who are there, who are basically situated to deal with the fires and the recovery. It's incredible. But what I also saw was 7 young men from Pine Grove Fire Camp. Pine Grove Fire Camp is up in Amador County, and it is taking young men who have committed crimes, violent crimes as juveniles, and is teaching them to be firefighters. It's incredible, the transformation in these young men from people who were dealing with the lowest situations in their lives, unconnected from society, no meaning in their life, to being trained to be firefighters, to being brought on the front lines of these fires, the Palisades fire, the Eaton fire, fighting to keep our homes there, fighting to keep lives alive. Young men at that level, incredible. That is part of the recovery we can even see in the criminal justice system, and is an inspiration to make sure that even though we are going to put the criminals in jail, that there are opportunities to help people who've committed crimes actually recover.